Greetings, welcome back to Switch to Linux. So today is actually more about I'm doing a sound check more than anything. I was having some difficulties with sound, so if you are watching, you will get to have some participation as I turn on some sound here. In fact, I'm going to plug in some headphones so I can monitor some sound myself from time to time. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of the sound thing. I know that it is videos being played on my backgrounds that is doing it, but I want to see if I can get that to go away because it does add some nice effects in there. So if you happen to be watching this, then great. I'm going to occasionally ask for some input, make sure that things are working well. But for the other part of this, I want to do a real video today, and so what we're going to do is I'm going to have a look at the new Ubuntu flavor, which is Budgie, which became a official flavor in I think November. I think they announced that Budgie would be an official flavor of Ubuntu. And so we're going to have a look at that. Of course, I've seen the Budgie desktop, I believe, originated in Solace. And what we're going to do is we are going to just have a look at the system, walk through everything. So first thing, and this is where I usually get the errors, is I'm going to turn over to the website. And I chose the exact same background that I was getting pops on and stuff. And so bear with me for a moment because part of this video is just for me to test things out. And if the video ends up being horrible, then I'm just going to go ahead and re-record a Budgie video that's more professional at another time. So thanks for watching if you're here, and we're going to switch over, and audio, if history is correct, audio is going to get choppy for a moment while I try and resolve it. So there we are, we're back to that. And I'm actually going to put on my headphones now and turn audio on my system. So let's see what we get. Okay, so usually at this point in time, I'd start getting some choppiness going on in the system. Now, I gotta give a big shout out to the guys over at OBS because I went over to, hold on, I started talking to myself. Okay, I'm not hearing any choppiness. Let me know in the comments if you hear any choppiness in here as we go on. So big shout out to the guys over at OBS. Of course, my OBS updated to the latest version, so now they've kind of streamlined, and all of the platforms have the same exact version numbers, which is 18.0.1. Ever since I upgraded to that, I was noting a few problems here and there. The one that I started doing offline sound checking didn't seem to work. It didn't seem to give me any problems with the audio, but what did give me problems is I was now getting screen tearing recording in HD, and so that was a problematic thing. What? Come here, kitty. Oh, no, can't be camera shy. Kitty, want to come and say hi? This is the loud one. Want to say hi to everybody? Right there on that microphone. Say something. Say something. Right there on that microphone. Go on. Go on. Say something. What? Now you want to be quiet. Really? Now you want to be quiet, huh? All right. All right. Okay, so again, let me know if it gets choppy at all, and if it does, I have a few tests that I'm going to do. But one of the things is they showed me how to check all the logs and all the fun things inside the logs, and so great. I made some general settings which made the offline video recording a little bit better, and so now hopefully we'll even have better online video recording also. So let's go back over to the website here. So Ubuntu Budgie is now an official supported flavor of Ubuntu, which they probably needed some positive news after jumping out on everybody that, you know, Unity was going away. Of course, Budgie is the Budgie environment is built on the Gnome stack, and so it has a lot of elements of Gnome, but it has a lot more functions and features and settings that I really like, and so I just did a little bit of quick preview testing. The great news is we get Ubuntu, we get the stability of Ubuntu, the support of Ubuntu, and we get all that within a a different desktop environment. So now you can pretty much run Ubuntu on just about any desktop environment, except starting next year, not at Unity. Well. But anyway. So here is all the different information about it. So their site is pretty nice. If you want to hear more information, they have a newsletter, sign up. They have a Patreon account if you want to contribute over there. By the way, I did officially create my Patreon account. I have not yet set everything up yet. So that is going to be online for me. Hopefully within the next week, I'll have that done. So I will have that Patreon account. Some people have been asking for it. So I'm trying to figure out what to put in that nice banner up at the top. Let me know, because what's tripping me up is my Patreon account. I'm creating one Patreon account to cover all three of the channels that I will eventually be running. So one is technology, privacy, Linux. One is cooking, health, nutrition. And one is Christian studies and sociological philosophies, which are all topics that I have a very deep interest in. And I'm trying to figure out how to make my banner a cool banner to encompass everything eventually, because the other channels aren't completely launching yet. But I'm open to ideas. So if you have ideas, let me know in comments, or comments, live chat here, or comments on the video. Let me know. But otherwise, they do have, if you go up to, where was that? If you go up to their contribute, this is where they have their Patreon item and their PayPal. So if you do like this platform, you find yourself using it, throwing them some bones would definitely help keep the project running, and that would be a great thing to do. Under your features, we have, there is pre-configured, and what I really liked about how Budgie was set up is that it kind of has a sort of a setup configured, but almost there's the things where you might want to make your choice, like which web browser do you use. This is actually, there's a panel in there where you can install from it. Chromium is the only one that's installed by default in the one that I downloaded, which was 17.04. But you could click a button, install Firefox, install Google Chrome, and a few others that we'll look at. There is, of course, you get your security updates, a lot of your applications. I didn't check if Steam is pre-installed, but we're going to have a look at all of the Steam. There is some backup support built in, which was pretty cool. Here's a YouTube video, various screenshots. You can have a look at over there. Your downloads, it is, I forget. I think it's like 1.6. Let me do a quick look here. Audio still sound good? Let me know in the comments if the audio is still sounding good. It's very possible that the settings I did to fix the CPU issue are fixing the audio issue as well. Well, I check on the size of this distro here. Okay, so this was a 1.6 gigabyte download, and I was actually downloading it like 3.5 megabyte a second through the torrent. So if you come over here, you can pick the 64 or 32-bit, and then down here you can go a direct download or a torrent, and I picked the torrent, and then I hashed it with the MD5 hash, which is right here, to verify everything. Still looks good. All right, I'm going to do a quick audio check myself while it's getting caught up to me. And let me come over here and turn volume on. Sounding good to me. Let me know if it's sounding good to you guys. All right. Let's see, opportunities. Let's see. Okay, so here's there's contact information, where their bug platforms are, any future opportunities if you're looking into something like this. They have a lot of different things there, and then of course who is on the team. So here's all your guys on your team. So there is the website itself. So now we're going to boot up the distro there. Look in the comments real quick. Yeah, that kitty. I got two kitties. If you came on a little bit later and you missed the other kitty, he's sleeping right there in my office. That's my kitty cam. Canonical barely supports the main distro, let alone... Okay, yeah, I might be with you. Canonical itself may not help you a whole lot, but there is boatloads of good support in the community. So maybe community support of Ubuntu might be a better word. Unity 7 still has too many bugs. That's a probable thing. All right, so let me come over here, and we're going to go have a look at the distro itself now. Okay, so when you first load this up, you have this nice start screen, which you can enable. It will apparently only show up the very first time, unless you click this box here to show it up every time. So we have here a software center. We have default settings. So what they actually have here is just a lot of interesting theme setups. So you can see here what these look like. The Arc design is installed. So there's these different theme setups that you can install, and there's actually a few of them on here. Let's see. Under the introduction, I like the getting started is just a lot of different things. So your updates and your updates in your MP3, DVD, etc. codecs are here. So they're all available, but it looks like they're not installed directly. Even though I did check the box to install it out of the box, they were not. I still had to come down here. And this is probably the only thing I did is I went ahead and installed those. I just wanted to see how the installing worked. I didn't really mess with it otherwise. Your drivers are over here, so you can click on this button here and it will load up the latest drivers. Of course, you can see I'm running this in a virtual box now. And then language and input, so you can install more languages over here. It looks like we just have these other 3 languages, and you can find them over there in the basic settings panel. And then here's your optional tasks. So if you want to back up software, you can go ahead and install a backup software here. And if you need a firewall, I'm not sure why the firewall is, apparently was taken out. Because I know Ubuntu, starting at least in 16.04, or at least 16.04.2, had the firewall built in. But this does not seem to have the firewall. I'm not sure why. But you do have the nice option here to install the firewall, should that be something you want to do. Let's see, here's how you do your users and accounts, and you can click on this button. It will load up the settings panel for users. Let's see, performance tuning, you can disable animations if you're running on lighter system resources. Customization, so this will actually pop open your customization panel, which you can do from up here on the top of the panel as well. Can you see that? I can't see if you can see the top panel or not up there. Let me go ahead and I'm going to maximize this on the screen, see if that helps. There you go, that helps. Now you can see the top panel. All right. Browser ballet, I guess that'd be ballot. So Chromium is the one installed. You can remove it here if you want. You can install Firefox, Vivaldi, or Google Chrome from right here. So this is a nice function there. Keyboard shortcuts. This is nice. We have a very nice panel of keyboard shortcuts. So if you're a guy that wants to use these, go for that. Oh man, the cat's being cute. Kitty break. Cat's being cute. All right. Audio still sounding good? Everybody's watching? Yes, you can get the same general look with dash to dock on GNOME. What you don't have is the giant Mac looking panel of icons that'll show up like what looks like the launcher on the Mac. You don't have that showing up. And then, of course, we have the main settings panel over here. Oh, what's the name of the settings panel? Somebody remember the name of the settings panel here in Budgie? There's a specific Raven. It's Raven. It's called Raven. That's right. Okay. So you can access your main settings here, which would be your same way of doing settings. Of course, everything here pretty much feels like GNOME. So we have some nice images in here. So there's your background on that. Which actually it didn't, the background changed for me. I'm not seeing it change for you unless is our stream running still? Yep. Okay. I'm getting some lag in what I'm seeing here. Let me transition and transition back. I'm not seeing our screen. Give me a second. Audio's good, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of... Let's see here. Yeah, I should not be on user interfaces and settings. That's the problem. You're seeing the screen. There we go. Now you're seeing what you should be seeing. So apparently maximizing that window there actually freezes the thing. Sorry about that. So I realized some of the things you didn't get a chance to see. So we have the option here for pulling out the Raven side panel. Like I said, this is kind of a test stream. I'm testing a few things in OBS went a little goofy on me. So let's see. Let me go back to this. Oh, come on, cat. Cat's being goofy. And the downside is I actually have to roll the screen around a little bit to get to different things because of how it's set up. Let me actually try something real quick. I'm going to do that. And let me come back to distro. And let me grab... Okay, that looks better. So I just made a little change there in Ubuntu or in OBS, and that should hopefully get us what we need. There we go. Now we're grabbing what we need. Okay. All right, so here's your background settings. Everything here is basic GNOME inside your settings panel here. So there's no real surprises in here if you're used to GNOME. If you're not, here's your online accounts and notifications. Let's see, there's search functions. You can dictate where things are allowed to search. So if you want things to search not in your photos, you can turn your photos off, etc. And that's regarding the basic search key. I'd have to figure out where that is in this one. No, it wasn't that one. There was a hotkey to pull up the search key. I can't remember what it is now. I don't use GNOME very frequently, so I don't have all of the keys memorized. But your settings panel is the same, but what we have in Budgie is the Raven panel. This is the one that you didn't get a chance to see when I had the screen overlaying there. So this guy here, we have a notification panel, we have an applet panel, and this is a really nice smooth looking panel. It kind of reminds me of the panel that the Mac has. You can control your volume here, inputs, outputs. Notifications will appear over here. So this was where I completed the, let's see, there you go. Clear them out up here. That's where I added those items. And then we can click the gear. The top gear, this is one of the downsides, is the top gear will open up more settings. The bottom gear will open up the settings panel for GNOME. So the top panel here, this guy here though, I like this because we can do some more customization. So we can dark theme it or light theme it. And I think changing the light theme, dark theme, you might have to restart the computer. Most of the other things will actually change as you do it. Your widget theme here, you can change how your widgets look. Your icons over here, if you don't like those icons, you can pick from a variety of icons that are available. Oh, the humanity. Bad jokes. All right, so here's your icons. Of course, your cursor themes. You can do the black or the white. On the background, you can utilize desktop icons or not. Of course, what I don't see is I don't see the easy ability to add the desktop icons here. I'd usually add those through the tweak tool, and I'm not sure if you can add them otherwise another way. But we're going to go back into that. You can change around your fonts over here. And then what I like about this is the panel is nice and easy to edit like this. So you can choose the position of the panel if you want it on the top or on the bottom. So here we just jumped it down to the bottom. Looks like it's cut off ever so slightly on your screen, but it is there on the bottom. Let me move it back to the top so you can actually see it better. And hopefully you can see it. And it's still cutting off. Hi, Big Daddy. How are you? Hello, SGK Gaming. We're just doing a little bit of things on Budgie here, but we're also just doing a test. Ah, you know what? There's your problem. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Yep. Close. And transition. I was utilizing a window that was actually padded and cropped for another application. I was reusing the window quickly, so that's what I was doing. I was cutting off the panel because I had the top and the bottom 25 pixels cut off. All right, we're just testing OBS Studio a little bit more here today. All right. So we're going to go back into our panel there. Now, what I like here is that we have a series of applets, and then there's the 3 different positions. There's the start position, you guys over here. We have the center position, and then we have the end position. So you can actually come over here and decide where what you want to add. So if we want to add something, for example, let's see. What's missing that I like to usually have? I think status indicator. So hit status. Let's see, status indicator. That goes to the middle. Okay, that was for the volume status indicator, so I don't need that one. I was looking for the icon task list. I think task list. That might be the one I was looking for. Okay, yeah, of course I need to open something up to see the task list. Okay, so there we have the task list is up here now. So if I want to use that, and then if I want to move it around, I can just click the up and down to move it to the various locations. So now I can have my task list over here. If suppose I want my clock over in the other side, like I might be more used to finding it, I can go ahead and do that. What I don't know is, can I easily move it back to the middle? Yes. Okay, so it will move everything back to the middle accordingly. So there you go. You can move your clock around a little bit. You can move your Raven sidebar indicator around as well. That is another item. So that is how you adjust the individual items. All right. Hello, Adam. How are you? Love OBS. I do as well. I just wanted to do some testing on it because I was having some difficulty with audio at the one part. So running animated backgrounds. I seem to have resolved that. So for those using OBS or curious, I'll show you the things that I end up doing a little bit here. Let me switch to... Okay, we're going to go over here. And I'm going to see if I can... I can't drop my settings over there right this second. Let me minimize Budgie for a second there and move this guy over here. So one of the things that I did... Oh, that's something interesting. I never changed my settings. So I guess we're testing how well it streams on a higher bit rate as well, because I usually drop that down to 720p. I'm actually pushing this out at 1080. Let me know if it's actually pushing out at 1080 if you have the ability to check that, or but I came over into my output, and I had my CPUs set not at ultra fast. I had it down. I can't change the setting while I'm recording, but I had this set down to very fast. And pushing that up to ultra fast really helps. Of course, if you're streaming on YouTube, you want to manually put 4 in here. The default is 0, and that usually causes some buffering issues. RAM usage right now. No. I don't know. How do I check RAM usage? I know CPU usage is at 31.8% right now. I'm at 30 frames per second. And kilobit per second is 3671. RAM usage on Budgie itself. I'm guessing that's probably what the question was. Let me go back over here. Let's see. I could not find... Oh, wait. Hold on. I think there's a system manager. Yeah, there's a system monitor. Budgie itself. So we are using 1.2 gigs. So yeah, probably don't want to run this at 1080p streaming. Cool. I was not sure I wanted to try it because my upload is only 6 Mbps, and that's kind of like the upper or the lower limit where you want to try and stream 1080p. But if it's working, great. All right, so 1.2 gigs of memory, so probably don't want to run this unless you're running it on a pretty beefy machine with lots of extra RAM. Of course, I'm on a virtual box. I gave it 8 gigs, so that's how the RAM usage is going. All right, let's see if there's any comments I've missed. Manjaro Budgie Community Edition. I see Ubuntu Budgie is now official flavor. Yes, that is cool. I like it when we get new flavors on Ubuntu. All right. Hi, Adam. How are you? Don't really like what they did do, Budgie. Remove features from the panel to make their user use Plank instead, leaving the panel without the ability to hold app pins. Yeah, maybe, I guess to play devil's advocate on that side, it does almost kind of sort of have, I'm going to say it, a Windows 10 feel. You still got your control panel for several things, and then you got their trendy new panel for some other things. And so, yeah, I want to question that part, if that what you... is that really what you want to use or whatever else. That was kind of bugging me. My Budgie indicator was in the wrong spot. So yeah, that's kind of a valid point that there's, you know, you have this panel here, you have the panel over here, which controls these items, this for the panel bar, and then you have your main settings over here. Yeah, that does kind of feel like Windows 10 a little bit. You know, we've got to get rid of this control panel, but we can't do it quite yet. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the applications that are pre-installed. I'm going to do a quick look over here. All right. So your applications, we have our application menu up here at the top. So looking at accessories, one of the things I don't like about this, as it's preset, I'm sure you can change it, is these do not change as I hover. I have to click on everything to get things to move. I guess the good news is it's not going to go anywhere if I accidentally move off the wrong mouse point. So that's good. Are you actually seeing my boxes? Let me double check something here. Yeah, it looks as though how I have this set up, you're not able to see. So let me go back to this. Can you see me here? Hey, now you can see it. So for those that use OBS things, when you do a window capture, like I was doing on the first part, pop-ups will not display. So for some reason, though, the Raven menu is a different item than your menu over here, because the Raven menu was showing up. So up here now, fixing that on OBS, up here now, you can see here that hovering over things does not automatically open them. I do have to click, but the good news is I can move my mouse over here. The menu doesn't go anywhere. All right, so we do have a lot of extra software. Like, I'm not sure how to use this books program. I can look it up easily, but if anybody knows off the top of your head, you know, let me know. But there's a lot. Like, I'm not sure I'd use that. If there was sort of tablet, I might, but it's not. I'm just not inclined to sit here and read books on a computer screen. We have a calculator, documents. So it's just a collection of documents. Your files, maps. Here's your menu editor. I guess that's probably where you can make some menu adjustments. Let's have a look. Okay, so we can hide certain things from the menu if we want to. Seeing if I can access Plank there. Plank preferences. There we are. Okay. Okay, so here's more settings that I didn't see before. Okay, yeah, too many settings panels. Way too many settings panels. Not everything in Windows 10 is bad in the interface. Yeah, okay. 10 is usually really nice when pre-installed. It's the upgrading where issues tend to happen. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I think this is what you were talking about with, in theory, we should be able to add stuff to, I should have looked some of this stuff up prior to starting, but, okay, so there's a trash bin anyway. Plank doesn't seem to do anything for me. All right. Text editor, here's weather. You know, here, that's an interesting thing. Let me look in settings real quick. I want to see if location is turned on by default. Screen lock is on. Oh, ooh, big negative for me. Location's turned on by default, or is it on? Wait. No, that looks like it's, wait, what? Okay, location services, it says in use, and I click on this, it's off. That's interesting. That's really interesting to me. What happens if I turn that on? Huh. And it is picking up my location. So I'm going to close that because that's probably what was using it. I'm going to go back into privacy. Okay, so that's a little troubling to me that it seems as though location services is permanently on. Too many places get to too many different settings, worse than KDE. Yeah, I've encountered that most of the settings in KDE are in one place. It's just there's so stinking many of them. It's hard to find them. As you pull up KDE and you get, you'll get, a panel of settings, and then each one of those panels of settings has multiple tabs of settings, so you can't really find stuff. So I think I'm with you there. But yeah, this is like completely different places for things. I'm a little concerned that this thing seems to have location services perpetually on, and I can't seem to turn it off by going into the settings. All right, so games, we have our solitaire games, Mahjong, Mines, and Sudoku. They mentioned Steam on the website, and I don't see Steam in games at least. Maybe it's somewhere else. Photos, Simple Scan, LibreOffice Draw. We have our Chromium, Geary Mail, and BitTorrent. Which one's Geary? Hold on. Let me look at that again. This is something that's a little troubling to me. I'm wondering if this is anybody know off the top what email is in elementary, because this is giving me the same issue that I saw over there. I could not use a POP3 account. I could not set up a POP3 account in elementary, and that to me is problematic. See, I have this major grudge. I might have to do a Tom on Fire here. I'm doing a Tom on Fire because I'm frustrated with something. I'm frustrated with how email shifted. Okay, Elementary OS uses Geary. Same program. It sucks. Hate it. I'm on fire because since we have had to use... since we've started using more Hotmails, Yahoos, Gmails, etc., we have been shifting over to this idea where we have these free online email accounts. We never clear emails. We never delete emails. Everything's always there. We never back them up. We fall out of good, healthy, safe practices with emails with our data. Realize if a Gmail server crashes, chances are slim because of how they do things. But if it crashes, there's no backup for you. They'll have backups for them. They won't have backups for you. But what's happening is we've shifted from using emails from POP3 over to IMAP. And where it frustrates me is I sell small server spaces for my small business clients, and most of them have no idea how to clear their inboxes. And then their servers get so full, get so much crap all over the place. It's like, people, we need to make sure that we are backing up our emails. We have copies of our emails offline. We are doing all of these things under safe practice, and IMAP gets in the way of doing a lot of that. All right. Enough of that. Yeah, back to Geary. I hate Geary. I tried setting this up. I'm guessing if I changed the ports, I could probably get this to work, but I could never get this thing to work and set up with POP3 accounts. Okay, so uses Geary or not using Geary any longer, is abandoned by the original but was taken over by the Gnome project. Okay. Well, in my opinion, Geary sucks. Okay. Give me something real. Of course, most people don't have as many email addresses as I have. I understand that. So, all right, we're good there. All right, so under Office, we have LibreOffice pre-installed, so that's good. We have a full contacts, a full calendar. Let's see the calendar here. Ooh, a week view. That's a week view, man. Ooh. Bad jokes. All right, Science, we have LibreOffice Math. Sound and Video, we have the Cheese, Webcam, Gnome MPV, and Music Player. I'm guessing this is for movies. I've never seen Gnome MPV. I'm guessing that's for movies. System Tools, we have our welcome screen. Ooh, what's Power Statistics? Very underwhelming. All right. Our Software Center and a few different terminal options we have in here. Let's double check our software. Make sure that's looking good. Claws. Evolution. Is there no Thunderbird? Is it Ice Dove, maybe? Is there no Thunderbird in... Or am I just going crazy? Wow. Well, there's Evolution at least. Yeah, Geary doesn't do Pop 3. That's my beef with it. See, what we should be doing, and I realize people check their mail on multiple devices and things, but what you should do for optimum security is you have one computer which is set up as a backup system for your email. So in my case, it's this computer on the Windows 8 mode. So every few days or so, I'll boot it into Windows 8, turn on the email client, and collect all of the email. So what you do then is I set up POP3 accounts for everything else, and then the email gets to my phone or my device or my tablet or whatever I'm checking my email on, and I get the email in as a POP email. And then I can decide if I want to delete it from each individual place. On the phone, I use the phone to check the email in the morning and the evening and a few times throughout the day, especially if I'm out and about. And then I'll clear the emails off my phone as I get them, or I'll leave them on if it's something important I need to get back to later. But make sure that this is always clear. Rather than if I did this on POP3, I'd always have this giant mess on my phone, and with as many email addresses as I have, it's crazy. So, let's see. Evolution is the only good and fast email client for Linux that's well supported. Yeah, I noticed Thunderbird is slow. I use Thunderbird for things like I have a few accounts that require me to have a Gmail account for some specific clients, and I have my throwaway accounts in an old Hotmail account. So I use Thunderbird to check those. And any accounts that are kind of set up on attached to my business as more or less spam accounts, I use those to Thunderbird to collect those. But on my real email, I use Evolution. I love how Evolution works. This has been waiting for a password. Look at that. I love how Evolution works. It works the same way that old Outlook did. Like new Outlook, they went the way of Thunderbird. No, Evolution, I have all my filters in place. That's exactly what I do. I check like 10 or more emails on there, and my filters never give me any problems. Now, I do have some filter issues on Kmail. Kmail is what I use on KDE system. I like it, but it doesn't seem to run the filters properly on check all the time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I've never had any problem with Evolution and filters. I don't know. It might be some people have really hated it over the years. I've always really liked it. But anyway, there's evolution. I don't like that it always shows up in Office instead of Internet, whereas Thunderbird shows up in Internet, not Office. But anyway, let's see, administration. We have Xdiagnose, software updater. Let's see this one. Okay, so we can view errors and whatever else in there. Let's see. Software updater is here. So we can check for updates as we're doing things. And let's see. Guessing if we go into settings, we might be able to look at, yep. So over here we can look at repositories. Should be able to add some repositories manually here. There's some driver options. And we can do zesty. Those proposed updates are pretty zesty, I'll tell you that. Okay. All right. And preferences, here's your settings, menu editor, disks, input methods, software and updates, startup applications. That's good to know. And then under utilities, we have help, system monitor, archive, character maps. I like character maps. Sometimes they're a little underrated. Do a lot of, I used to do, you know, when I was a professor or whatever else doing spreadsheets, character maps were my friends. You know. Passwords and keys, screenshot, and is that another terminal or... Yeah, what are there, 3 terminals on this thing? What's this thing? Terminally ill? All right, well, there's Budgie. Any more questions, comments, anything else on this before we wrap this up? We're pretty much caught up here on the comments also. Let's see. Evolution never worked for me. Okay. Still better on Outlook. I use Outlook web app at work because it's faster than the native client. Really? Which version of Outlook is that? I'm curious. I use Outlook 2007 still on my Windows 7 computer. I absolutely love it. I know in 2010 they changed it to, you know, match the rest of the email programs because one person does something different and revolutionary and everyone else. It's like the same thing with like conversations in email. Nothing frustrates me more than conversations. It's like, dude, I want to get the emails as I get the emails. Don't tie them all over the place because I feel like digging through the single spaghetti noodle through the whole plate to try and... craziness. Not cool. 2007 was the last good version of anything MS made. Yeah, that's actually why I still run it. I refuse to go above it. Anymore, though, I just use LibreOffice. So when Microsoft finally decides to kill Office 2007 because their evil world domination of planned obsolescence and subscription services to Office 365, LibreOffice is going right on the thing. You know, it works just as fine. LibreOffice and Evolution. I'm not sure. Is Evolution available on where? Chromium, there it is. Is Evolution available on that? Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to sugarcoat what I feel about conversations. I just think whoever came up with conversations, which was Google, by the way, is stupid. It's just my thought. Well, yeah, typing in Evolution itself is probably not going to get me what I'm looking for. What I want to see is... I just want to see if Evolution was available on a Windows computer or not. I'm not sure it is. No idea. I don't know. I'll look that up on my own. But yeah, that's my new my system. That Evolution is what I like to use for email. There, that's what I was trying to say. Kmail on a KDE computer, although I really like Evolution better. Kmail is a little bit harder to use. Outlook Mail for Windows 10 is stuck with IMAP. Won't let me switch to POP3. Needs to say I don't use it because that makes things less convenient. Yeah, it's been a while, but I have successfully used... I thought I'd successfully set up a POP3 account on Windows 10 Mail app back on my video when I was looking at... spam emails. I was opening up spam emails on a VirtualBox, on a Windows 10 VirtualBox. I thought I was using POP3 to set that email up. I can't remember. Don't even run Windows in a VM. Enjoying the freedom. Yeah, I'm with you there. I have on this thumb drive runs an OpenSUSE with a Windows on a VirtualBox. If I need Windows, that's where it's at. Well, you can't even see my screen. I'm sorry. I'm like so used to having a picture of me over there as I do that. Let me show you that again. There it is. So this drive here has OpenSUSE Enlightenment with a Windows 10 on a VirtualBox. So, kind of fun. All right. Yep. Hey, it sounds like my audio problems are resolved. It looks like streaming 1080p is resolved. I'm going to go back and check this out again and see how it's working. All right. Thanks, everybody, for putting up with the test. And I guess I'll just go ahead and keep this video. I didn't see anything seriously wrong. Don't forget, if you want to help support the channel, there's Amazon links in the description for Amazon partnership if you happen to buy anything over there. And hopefully within a week or so, I should figure out what I should do for Patreon. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. This is my final exiting screen. Various stuffs that I'm using. And have yourself a great evening, everybody.